everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over Tropical Storm Dorian. So, since yesterday, we did cover this a little bit yesterday on my second upload of the day. Yes, of course, as I said yesterday like a million times, but this has really developed since yesterday. Yesterday it was about a 35 mile per hour tropical depression. I actually did make a video on it when it was a depression, then like 2 minutes later it turned into a tropical storm. So that was not the best thing, but here we are again. So I do hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you do, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. And let's go ahead and get into it. So you can see right here, we're going to go to a different thing just because this is almost going out. Since we're getting close to nighttime. And you can see across this part, and you can see how this storm today has really got together. A lot of these storms are starting to develop inside of the storm. Across a lot of the center, you can see they're really starting to fire up. And also, you can kind of see how the storm has expanded a little bit. You can see how this whole bit of storms has developed throughout the day. So, as we do go look at the National Hurricane Center, you can see how this has developed into a 50 mile per hour storm today. So pretty much it went up about 10 or I forgot if it was 40 or 45 this afternoon, but now it's a 50 mile per hour storm, and it's supposed to, or what we're thinking, should stay a tropical storm until it hits the Lesser Antilles, where we do have that tropical storm warning in place. Where it will hit, we are not too sure yet. That's why we do have this little area right here, because we still have to adjust it a little bit. Now, the GFS takes it down here a little bit, and then the European does take it a little bit more north. So we are going to have to see, but where we do have those tropical storm watches, we could see some tropical storm winds. Either way, it does go. But right now, we think it could go where that blue is in our tropical storm warnings. Here you should just expect tropical storm force winds and more, and of course gusts. And pretty much we should see 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, maybe even 6 inches in isolated spots across the Lesser Antilles as we move throughout your Tuesday, maybe even parts of your Monday night, and maybe a little bit into your late Tuesday night. But right now it's looking like Tuesday is our impact day across a lot of the Lesser Antilles. In that blue shaded area especially. But as we do move on to your Wednesday, we are expecting a hurricane to take place, maybe even late Tuesday, late Tuesday afternoon to the nighttime, and maybe especially towards our Wednesday afternoon, we should be seeing a hurricane. So by this time, it should still be out in the ocean. The question is, where will it be? So as you can see in this cone, this is kind of where anywhere in this cone is where the center of the system could go. So it could go this way, it could go this way, or it could even go this way. So pretty much right now, it's looking like it should get near the Dominican Republic in a lot of the models, but some models are taking it up towards Puerto Rico, which I will show in a minute. Some are taking it towards the Dominican Republic, and some are taking it south of all the islands and hitting Cuba. So right now we are thinking it should get close to Puerto Rico or hit the Dominican Republic, and maybe even, and of course Haiti. And then by Tuesday it should turn into Friday it should turn into a depression. Now we will have to see how this does work out, because if it does go this way, we have a lot of more concerns. It doesn't have as much interaction with land until Cuba, and if it does do this, it could interact into the Gulf. It could go into the Gulf, which a lot of the models are converting to today, which is very concerning because we do have a lot of favorable conditions there. Even into parts of the Atlantic, we are a little scared for that too. Or maybe even if it would stay this way, it could redevelop a little bit and hit Florida, which would not be good. Or, of course, as I did say, in the Atlantic, it could be bad because it could definitely hit the Bahamas definitely by your Saturday and maybe even your Friday. So that is a concern, the Bahamas being affected. Cuba, I'm scared for you too. And also parts of the southeast coast or just the east coast we do need to watch out for too. But there are a lot of places that it could go. But we think it should hit a Category 1 hurricane sometime on your Wednesday or maybe even late Tuesday. That's what they're expecting right now, a Category 1. We will have to see how that does go. But right now, the only warnings we do have out are across the Lesser Antilles in that tropical storm warning area. No hurricane warning. That is very good. So if we were to go to your wind speed probabilities really quick, you can see these are tropical storm force wind probabilities, and we have a really good chance of it across a lot of the Lesser Antilles. Pretty much the whole Lesser Antilles, we do have a chance. We're also into Puerto Rico, we have about a 40 to 50% chance of it, and then the Dominican Republic, we have a pretty good chance too. So this is not a good thing to see. A lot of areas are going to be affected by this. And if we were to go ahead and go into the hurricane speed probability, you can see even parts of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, even parts of the Lesser Antilles have a small chance of hurricane force winds. Most of it's out in the ocean. But even if there's a chance, that is concerning. That does mean we definitely could be seeing some of those hurricane wind gusts. I do expect us to see some wind gusts to hurricane strength, maybe even in the Lesser Antilles, and I do definitely think towards the Dominican Republic and near Puerto Rico, we could definitely see that happening. Okay, if we were to go ahead and move on to, we're going to actually go ahead and move on to the arrival time of winds, and you can see how sometime by tomorrow afternoon, we could already be seeing by tomorrow afternoon and evening, we could already be seeing some tropical storm wind gusts happening, or just tropical storm winds affecting the Lesser Antilles, and that should end around sometime late Tuesday, and then by late Tuesday in parts of Puerto Rico, we could be expecting some tropical storm winds. This is our earliest time, so we're not saying it will happen, but this is the earliest it'll happen, and then that should end somewhere on your Wednesday, around Puerto Rico, and then sometime on your Wednesday around the Dominican Republic and Haiti, we should start seeing some tropical storm winds, maybe even a little bit more. And you can see when we move across parts of Cuba and the Bahamas, we could be by Thursday be expecting some of those winds moving in also. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to some of the model runs. These are called spaghetti models. So pretty much if you don't know, spaghetti models are just a lot of models that we do look at. And a lot of times they can be spread out a lot. Or sometimes when they come together, we kind of do know where it's going to go. So right here you can see this is what the National Hurricane Center really did base their cone off of. So you can see right here, this is what the cone would look like if we were to look at this, which we'll go back and I'll show you how much it does look like it. So there's my cone, and if we were to go to the cone here, you can see how it's almost in that exact spot. So it looks a lot like it. So you can see that is definitely what they're basing it off of. That's what they should be basing it off of. You can't make huge decisions off of this, but it does help us out quite a bit. So you can definitely see the Southern Lesser Antilles. A lot of the models do hit you. That's pretty much a definite. Some of the models do take it a little bit more north, like the European would. Some take it south, a little bit more south, like the GFS. And if we were to look forwards, you can see how a lot of them in the ocean, a lot of them do stay together until it hits the Dominican Republic, or maybe just south of Puerto Rico. We could hit Puerto Rico. We still definitely do have to watch. Some of them take it south. We will definitely have to see. That's not out of the question. But right now, a lot of them are just taking it this way. Towards the Dominican Republic and the Lesser Antilles. And then some of them do take it, once it gets here, past Haiti and the Dominican Republic, take a west turn. A lot of them do that, so there's a big bulk of those that do that. And some of them take it towards the Bahamas. So this is where it kind of does split, and we're going to have to keep looking over the next few days at this. So Cuba, you need to watch out. The Bahamas, you need to watch out. Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, the Lesser Antilles, any of those places I just named, maybe even Jamaica. There's some models taking it your way. Just a couple of them get a little bit too close for comfort. You definitely do need to be watching out for this. Okay, if we were to move into the GEFS model, so this is pretty much just a lot of runs of the GFS model. Just a lot of them we do get a good idea off of these. So you can see how this does take it a little bit more south. You can see some of them even miss the Lesser Antilles. We are not expecting that, but a lot of them do take it with what the National Hurricane Center is saying right now. And you can see if we do follow those models, you can see it goes through the Dominican Republic near Puerto Rico. And you can see a lot of them do take it after Haiti and the Dominican Republic. It kind of misses the Bahamas and Cuba, and it just goes in between them. And you can see how it does get close to the Florida Keys, southern Florida, and then it moves back into the Gulf, and it could strengthen and then hit parts of the Gulf states. So the Gulf Coast could be affected by this. The southern Florida could even be affected by this too, even though we're looking at the islands, and right now, later on, that's what we could be expecting. So if we were to go ahead and move on to the GEPS models, just another set of a lot of models, and you can see how this is a little bit different. A lot of times we cannot trust this as much. I don't trust this as much when I make forecasts a lot of times. But you can see a lot of these do take it south of the Lesser Antilles and take it towards Central America, which is not out of the question. Some do take it into here towards your Venezuela place, area, I'm pretty sure. Venezuela, Colombia. You can see some of them do take it your way, but a lot of them also do take it towards the Lesser Antilles and up through here into Florida, and some of them even do take it towards here into the Gulf. And you can kind of see in that line in the middle is where we really are forecasting it to come together. So, well, the model is. So you can kind of see where that black line is where what it's thinking right now. Okay, if we were to go ahead and move on to your model intensity guidance, you can see these are all over the place, more spaghetti models, but this time it's for intensity. How strong do we think it's going to get? So right now we're at a 50 mile per hour storm. This is not completely updated with the storm, at least with the latest update, but we still do have a pretty good idea. If we were to go click on it again, I don't know if it really does change much. Let's see. I don't think it's going to change. Yeah, it's not going to. But you can see a lot of the models are keeping it to go up to a hurricane. Some are taking it down from now into a tropical depression again. I do not think that's going to happen. I do think we will strengthen up into a Category 1 hurricane in the next 3 to 4 days. So a lot of the models are taking it to a Category 1 hurricane in the next 3 to 4 days, which is what we are expecting. Not too much of a surprise. Some of them are pushing it towards the Category 2. Some of them are getting fairly close. We will definitely have to see throughout the next few days. But right now, we're just expecting a Category 1, right now at least. Okay, if we were to go ahead and move on to windy.com, we're going to go to right now. And you can see how a lot of these, there's a lot of good thunderstorms in this system as of right now, and it's pretty close to the Lesser Antilles. We're already getting some moisture from it, probably some bad surf. Of course, I don't live here, but I bet you they are already starting to feel some of those impacts. Not huge impacts yet, but you can see by your Monday, so tomorrow around noon into your early afternoon, this should be creeping up towards here, and Bridgetown is going to be very close. The center of the system is right off the coast. And you can see how there's a lot of rains coming with this. If we were to move into, this is very fast, so we do have to go a little slow. And you can see if we go into your Monday around 7, let's go to your 9 p.m., you can see this does creep up on towards Bridgetown, and by your 10 p.m. hour, you can see how it is over this island, and it does not look good. And you can see how there's very heavy rains across here and some really heavy thunderstorms. And if we were to keep going until your Tuesday, Monday night and very, very early, like 4 a.m. Tuesday, you can see it's going towards Kingstown, Castries is close to you, Fort de France, Roselle. You're seeing some of those thunderstorms and rain that are off of this system, which can sometimes be the worst of it. Some of those isolated storms can cause some severe storms. And you can see how by your Tuesday morning we are seeing a lot of impacts across here. Very intense. That is not good to see. And if we were to move into your Tuesday around 4 p.m., you can see it does start to move off. But we do see a lot of the moisture come around Roselle in that area. And you can see how there's a lot of moisture that does carry behind this storm. We do usually see that a lot with these tropical systems. And you can see those will cause some problems over a lot of your Tuesday and some of your Wednesday. And you can see by your Wednesday, even though the center is not over a lot of these islands, over the Lesser Antilles, maybe even Puerto Rico, we could already be seeing a lot of rain and thunderstorms across there, even though the center is well offshore. Now, by your Wednesday with the European model, remember this is just one model with the European, and by your 9 p.m. Hour on your Wednesday, this has it somewhere around here. So it takes a very sharp northwestern turn, and you can see how by your Wednesday night, it's somewhere near the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, kind of right in the middle. And if we were to move into your Thursday at 3 a.m., you can see it's starting to come up on the Dominican Republic, and it does have it making landfall sometime on your Thursday, bringing very heavy rains to a lot of these mountainous regions, which is very concerning because we do have a lot of mountainous regions. And this is when we do expect it to calm down a lot, just because of usually all tropical systems, when it does hit land, it does weaken a lot. And you can see that is what happens right here by your Friday. It does weaken a lot. So if we were to go ahead and move on to your Saturday, you can kind of see where it was. There's not a direct area. But after this, it's anyone's guess. There's not much to look at. You can see there's something in the Gulf right here, which is concerning. And you can see how it does kind of stick around in the Gulf for a while. So we will definitely have to see what does happen with this system. But right now, we do know it should hit the Lesser Antilles by tomorrow. We do have a tropical storm warning in place. And then it should make landfall once again somewhere between your Wednesday and Thursday, as a tropical storm or hurricane. We will have to see. And then by your Friday, it should turn into a tropical depression. Right now, is what we're saying. And after that, it's anyone's guess. After it could go to the Bahamas, Cuba, enter the Gulf, just hit Florida and do nothing. Or it always could go into the Atlantic, just further up into the Atlantic towards the southeast coast. So there's a lot to look at as we go throughout the next few days. We will get a really good idea over the next few days, or a better idea of where it could be going, especially across the U.S. But yeah, guys, I hope y'all did enjoy today's video. If you did, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.